Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to another one of my online classes. So we're going to be doing roughly a 45-minute class today, and it's going to be all about greeting the day. So it's going to be a good class to practice in the morning. We're going to be doing some energizing postures. We're going to be doing quite a few sort of breath to movement postures and some strength building postures as well, ready to set us up for the day. As always, if you felt like you wanted to follow me on the social media, there's the link to the Instagram and the Facebook down below. It just has some updates and some extra little bits of information as well. And as I said on the last video, as I want this video to be free for anyone who needs it, and if you did feel like you particularly got something from the video, or you particularly enjoyed the video, I will leave a link to the PayPal down below as well, just to help me support, keep making these videos. Right, so we'll begin. We'll come into our seated position, whatever that looks like for you. You can sit cross legs, you can sit in half lotus if that's feeling good this morning, or you can sit in with your legs extended out in front or on your shins. If you wanted to take a hand mudra, you can take Gyan mudra, your index finger and your thumb connected with the remaining three fingers stretched out in front, palms faced up. And I encourage you to close your eyes here, beginning to tune into the more subtle sensations you feel in your body. Especially if it's first thing in the morning, you may feel a little bit tight, the need to move, the need to wake up. Begin to tune into your breath, breathing in and out through the nose, watching the journey of the breath travel all the way down into the belly. And exhale, create a small restriction to the back of the throat, creating an ocean-like sound in the back of the head. Ujjayi pranayama or yoga breath. And if you wanted to set yourself an intention for the class, for the day, now is a wonderful time to do that. It may be something like energy or power or calmness for today, whatever you're feeling you crave from this practice. It can be a mantra or an affirmation or even a colour. Take one more deep breath in, breathing your intention in fully. Exhale, let it go. And bring the palms together at the heart center. Namaste. So we will begin with our spinal warm-up as always, making sure we've moved the spine in all directions. And then after that, we're going to do 5 rounds of Surya Namaskara A today, just to make sure that when we wake up the body, we're waking up all the muscle groups and all the joint groups. If you feel like 5 is too much, you can always skip the couple of rounds or a round once you feel fatigued. If you feel like 5 isn't enough, feel free to do some more, or even pause the video and do some Surya Namaskara B as well. This is all going to do wonders for you as you wake up the body. So coming into your seated position, you can stay exactly where you are. If you had your legs crossed, it might feel nice to change the cross of the legs. You're going to bring your right hand to the outside of the right hip. As we inhale, we extend up through those left fingertips. And as we exhale, we side bend over to the right, beginning to peek up towards the ceiling underneath our left arm. Inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, left hand to the outside of the left hip. Inhale, reach up through those right fingertips. Exhale, side bend over to the left, staying grounded through both sit bones. As we inhale, we come back up to center. Exhale, right hand to the outside of the right hip, left hand towards the right knee. Inhale to draw up through the crown of the head. Exhale to twist, maybe beginning to peek out over your right shoulder. Inhale, come back up to centre. Exhale, left hand to the outside of the left hip, right hand towards the left knee. Inhale to create space and to lift. As we exhale, we twist, maybe beginning to peek out over the left shoulder. Inhale, return to centre, reach up. Exhale, release the hands to the outside of the hips. We're going to come into a tabletop position on our hands and knees. So just checking in that your wrists are underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips, feet flat out behind you. 3 rounds of cat-cow. So as we inhale, we come into cow pose, crown of the head up, chest forward, belly down, tailbone comes up. As we exhale, we start the movement of the tailbone as we round the spine, lift and separate the shoulder blades as the crown of the head releases down. Do 2 more of each at your own pace. And on your next breath in, come back to a neutral spine. We'll come into our first downward facing dog. So just checking in, palms are nice and flat, your fingers are spread wide. Grounding through each finger pad, we tuck the toes under and lift the hips up and back towards the ceiling. Knees can stay bent to start with as we begin to open up through the shoulders, the chest. Allow the neck to hang heavy. Should be no tension in the neck. And then once you feel nice and open through the spine, you can begin to pedal your feet, either one heel at a time or both heels down towards the floor, opening up through the hamstrings, the backs of the legs. And if at any point this feels a little bit too much or a little bit too intense, you can always drop to the shins and come into a child's pose. As we inhale, look to the front of the mat, coming into a ragdoll in as many steps as you need. Walk forward, knees stay bent, feet hips distance apart. You can take opposite hand to opposite elbow or let your arms hang heavy as you bring some gentle movements into the spine. And then when you're ready, release the elbows if you had a hold of them, staying strong through the feet, and bend through the knees, begin to roll up the spine, stacking one vertebrae at a time over your hips, until your chin comes parallel to the floor, as slowly as you need to take that movement. Namaste mountain pose. Have our big toes touching with a little bit of space between the heels, all feet hips distance apart. Legs are engaged, knees are drawn up, tailbone draws down towards the floor, your core is engaged, shoulders up and away from the ears, palms face forward and chin parallel with the floor. So quite an active posture, even if it doesn't necessarily look that active. And we're going to take our 5 rounds of Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutation A. The first round I will do will be modified. You can stick with the modified version or add in some up-level options as you'd like. So coming to the front of the mat, as we inhale, we bring our arms up overhead, shoulders away from the ears, look forward. As we exhale, we bend the knees, hinge forward from the hips, hands to thighs, shins, or towards the floor. As we inhale, come into the halfway lift, chest forward, looking forward, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, bend the knees enough that you can plant both hands on the mat, step back to plank, using the strength of the arms, lower all the way down. Inhale, baby cobra, elbows tucked into ribs, chest lifted, looking forward. Exhale, forehead releases down, coming onto hands and knees, tuck the toes under, downward facing dog, 1 full breath. Inhale, look to the space between your hands and as many steps as you need, come forward to that halfway lift. Exhale, fold over bent knees. Inhale, coming up with a straight spine this time, come all the way back up. Exhale, Samasthiti, mountain pose. Fantastic. Round 2, some up-level options if you want to take them. Inhale, arms up overhead, maybe join the palms this time, looking towards the thumbs. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips, hands down towards the floor. Inhale, halfway lift, looking forward, chest forward. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank. This time maybe chaturanga. Shoulders no lower than elbows. As we exhale, we lower halfway down. Inhale, upward facing dog, knees stay lifted, arms towards straight. Exhale, roll over the toes or flip the feet downward facing dog. One full breath. Inhale, look to the space between your hands, step, or if it's in your practice, jump forward. Coming to the halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, straight spine as we come all the way back up. Exhale, Namaste. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. If it's in your practice, you can try jumping back to chaturanga, landing with bent elbows. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog, one full breath. Inhale, look to the space in between your hands, step or jump forward, coming into the halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms in front, come all the way back up. Exhale, Namaste. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One full breath. Inhale, step or float. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, Namaste. Last one without any cues. And we'll meet back together in Namaste mountain pose. So as we inhale, we're going to bring our right foot to the back of the mat. So we're open nice and wide on the mat. We're going to bring our right foot out 90 degrees, left foot in 45 degrees. Utthita Trikonasana, extended triangle, arms to shoulder height, roughly wrist to heel alignment, heel of the right foot in line with the inner arch of the left. As we inhale, we expand, we lift. Exhale, reach forward with those right fingertips. Right hand comes thigh, shin, or block or floor. And again, you can look down towards that right big toe. Or if you wanted to challenge your balance, you can look up towards that top thumb. Inhale, reaching up with the left hand, come all the way back up to centre. Right foot in 45 degrees, left foot out 90 degrees, exhale. Inhale to expand, lift through the chest, exhale, reach forward with those left fingertips, left hand to thigh, shin, or floor. And you can look down or look up towards that top thumb. Inhale, reach up with the right hand, come all the way back up to centre. Left foot in 45 degrees, right foot out 90 degrees. Exhale, moving into Virabhadrasana, B, Warrior 2. Inhale to expand and to lift. Exhale, stack your right knee over your right ankle. Looking out over to the middle finger of the right hand, just checking in that your shoulders are stacked over your hips. Meaning to build strength in that quadricep.
Bringing some heat and some energy into the body as we begin to wake up. Bringing some dynamic movement now in. As we inhale, we straighten that right leg, bring the arms up overhead. You can look up if you want. Exhale, moving into our warrior two. You may need to widen the feet if you're allowing yourself to go deeper. Follow your own rhythms. Keep inhaling to expand and to lift. Exhale, allow yourself to sink into the posture. And then as we inhale, we come through center. Bring both toes in now. Exhale, hands to hips, Prasarita Padasana, wide leg forward fold. Inhale to expand and to lift. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips. You can bring the crown of the head down towards the floor. The hands can stay on the hips, or you can bring them down in line with the feet. I'm going to bring some dynamic movement into it now. So keeping your right hand on the floor directly in front of your face. As we inhale, we lift up the left hand towards the ceiling. If it only reaches kind of to 90 degrees, that's fine too. Exhale, release the left hand down, replacing the right. Inhale, extend up, reaching through those right fingertips. Exhale. Inhale, lifting up the left hand. Exhale, follow your own breath patterns. Bringing some gentle movements into the body, beginning to wake up. Feel that fresh new energy traveling throughout, ready for the day. Last one, lifting up the right hand, making sure we're balanced on both sides. Exhale to release into your forward fold. Inhale, head up, look forward. Exhale, hands to the hips. Inhale to lead with the chest. Come all the way back up to standing. As we exhale, we stack our left knee over left ankle, coming into Virabhadrasana B, warrior two on the left side, looking to the middle finger of the left hand. Staying nice and engaged through the outer edge of the right foot. As we inhale, we straighten through that left leg, bring the arms up overhead. You can join the palms and look up if you're feeling it. Exhale, warrior two. Keep going at your own pace. And as we inhale, we come back to center. Bring the heels in slightly more than your toes now. Exhale, hands to hips. We're going to come into Utkatasana, goddess pose. So you may need to shorten the stance a little bit, just depending how you are feeling today. So we're going to move into goddess pose. So as we inhale, we expand, we lift the chest. As we exhale, we sit back, checking that the knees are facing in the same direction as the toes as we lower our hips down. You can keep the hands on the hips for support or palms together at the heart center. So you can hold this as a static hold. If you wanted to take a little bit more intensity, build a little bit more heat, you can begin to pulse up and down. Begin to wake up the quadriceps and the glutes. Maybe try lifting the right heel. it down, lift the left heel, put it down, lift both heels maybe, let them down, one more breath. Inhale, come back up, and as we exhale, we step forward to Namaste, mountain pose. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms in front. Exhale, Namaste, mountain pose. Okay, we're going to move into our balancing sequence. So we're going to take Virabhadrasana C, Warrior 3, moving into Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. We can do this as one fluid movement, or you can come to a wall and take both if that feels more accessible. Take them at your own pace. So we're going to come to about the center of our mat. So it might mean stepping back a little bit. Inhale to expand and lift the chest, hands to hips. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips, bringing the hands down to, if you have a block, I don't have one, maybe towards the floor, but to somewhere where you can keep your legs nice and straight, nice and engaged. So from here, we're going to move into Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. Inhale to extend your right leg back behind you. You can stay here, bring the palms together at the heart center, capital T, airplane variation, or you can bring your arms out in front if you really wanted to challenge your core this morning. One more full breath, and then we're going to transition into Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. As we inhale, you can either drop that right leg down, or you can sweep it up without setting it down on the floor. You can bring that leg to either 90 degrees if you're feeling it. You can extend towards straight. And then we're going to transition between the two. So inhale here, exhale, Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana C. Inhale. Try and keep it a fluid movement if you can. Exhale, Warrior 3. Really good way of practicing your balance, which first thing in the morning can be a little bit fussier. Last time coming into Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana, and then we'll exhale, release to Namaste. Well done. Shake out the legs. It's quite intense building in the quadriceps and the hamstrings actually. We'll come into it on the other side. So hands to the hips. Inhale to expand and to lift the chest. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Hands to the floor or the block. Inhale, that left leg out behind you. You can stay on the tippy toes or begin to lift that leg towards parallel. Hands to the heart center in prayer, capital T position, aeroplane position, or working that core by extending the arms out in front. One more full breath. And as we inhale, you can either set that left foot down or try to sweep it through, bringing it to either 90 degrees, toes flexed towards your knees, or extending towards straight. Take one more deep breath in. Exhale. Going back to Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana C. Inhale. If you feel more comfortable just holding these postures, feel free to do that as well, especially if you're at a wall. It can be a really useful tool here. One more round of each. Exhale, warrior three. You can feel it beginning to activate in that right leg now. Inhale, Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Exhale, Samasthiti. Well done. Shake out the legs. And we're just going to take dancer here as a counter posture, just because we've obviously done some quite strength building. So it's another balancing posture. We're going to be on one leg. You can find a wall again. Otherwise, we're going to start by grounding through our left foot, nice and strong foundation. Bring our right leg behind us. Take the inner arch of the foot with the right hand, so the thumb comes towards the toes. You can just stay here, beginning to open through the quadricep and the hip flexors. If you wanted to take it further, then you can begin to press that top of the foot into the hand, using your left arm as a counterbalance. Inhale, return to center. And exhale to release, shake out the legs. Fantastic. Grounding now through the right foot, yeah? Bending the left foot, taking the foot from the inner arch, so the thumb comes towards the big toe. You can stay here, beginning to open through the quadricep, or you can lift your right arm as a counterbalance and begin to press that foot into the hand as you kick forward. Beginning to look down towards the floor. Inhale, return to center. Exhale, release the hands, release the feet, sorry. Inhale. Exhale, fold, vinyasa. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. And this time, when we come to downward dog, we're going to step to Malasana garland pose. So looking to your hands, you can either step or float your feet to the outsides of the hands at about 45 degrees. So then when we come to sit down, our hips come towards the floor, knees over the feet. If you're here and your heels don't reach the floor, you can roll up the front of the mat to support your heels. If they comfortably reach the floor, then you can begin to bring your palms together at the heart center. Thumbs towards sternum, sternum towards thumbs, lifting the chest, allowing the shoulders to draw away from the ears. Beginning to wake up the hips and the inner thighs. If you wanted to practice an arm balance, we're going to take Bakasana today, crow pose. It's a lovely way of, again, beginning to practice your balance first thing in the morning. Also beginning to wake up the arms a lot. There's quite strength building in the arms. If you have any pains in the wrists, just stick with Malasana where we are now. Otherwise, from Malasana, we're going to bring our torso parallel with the floor, palms towards the floor, shoulder distance apart. Bring the feet in together, and then bring the knees to the tops of the arms. You can begin to gently tip your weight forward, lifting the heels towards the sit bones, looking directly in front of you. Activate your core. One more breath in. Exhale, release to Malasana. Well done, release the wrists. And then we're going to come through to boat pose. So a nice way of doing that, actually move this out the way, is to roll back on the mat. Ooh, there's a tree there. Roll back on the mat. Roll forward and catch boat on the way up. So we're going to do 3 rounds of boat. If you're feeling that you're sort of rounding in the upper back here through the chest, then just take hold of the backs of the thighs, make sure you're nice and lifted in the chest. Otherwise, you can bring the arms alongside the body, palms face up. You've had enough of me. One more breath in. Exhale, release into a seated position just for one breath. Maybe feels nice to grab a hold of the knees and extend through the front body. Second round, you can take the same variation. If you wanted to take it a little bit further, you can maybe begin to extend the legs towards straight. Welcome back. Take one more breath in. Exhale, release. Open through the front side of the body. Last round. Last breath in and exhale. Release to a seat. We're going to come through a vinyasa to come down onto our bellies. So inhale, plant the hands, step back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Then inhale, shift forward to plank, phalakasana. And then as we exhale, we lower all the way down. So we're going to come into 3 rounds of rolling cobra. We're going to come into baby cobra to start with, then mid cobra, and then high cobra with the option for upward facing dog. So to start with, palms underneath your shoulders, elbows tucked into ribs. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the gaze, look forward. Inhale. Exhale, release the forehead down. Bring the palms back an inch or 2. Inhale, coming up into mid cobra. So using a little bit of strength with the arms here, beginning to peel up onto the top of the belly. Inhale. Exhale, release down. Bring the palms back in line with the ribs now. Elbows tucked in. Inhale, extend, maybe bringing the arms towards straight. Keep your micro bend in the elbows, shoulders under the ears, looking forward. Try to avoid rounding through the upper neck, but stay nice and long. If you wanted to take it into upward facing dog, coming onto the tops of the feet, you can lift the knees. Beginning to activate the quadriceps, the fronts of the legs as well. One more breath in. Exhale, very gently lower down. And press back to child's pose. Hips to heels. Knees can be wide or together as you release the forehead down towards the block or the floor. Arms can stay extended out in front or alongside the body. And if you set yourself an intention for the class, now is a really good time to bring that back to your awareness. With each inhale, you breathe in your intention fully. Allow it to fill your entire body and set you up for the day. And as you exhale, you let go of anything that no longer serves you, mentally, physically, or spiritually. You cleanse and refresh and reset. And as we inhale, we're going to walk our hands back. We're going to come into Ustrasana camel pose. So we're going to take it on both sides. We're going to take sort of half camel Ardha Ustrasana on both sides. It's a lovely way of opening the chest, opening the heart, ready for the day. If it feels a little too intense, or if you've got any pains in your back, it may feel nice just to sit here in a seated position, either on your shins or cross legs, and just begin to lift your chest. You can bring your hands out behind you, shoulders away from the ears, and look up. If you wanted to take full camel Ustrasana, we're going to come into a high kneeling position. So knees underneath your hips, hands to the lower back, fingers point down. If it's uncomfortable on the wrists, you can bring your fingers out to the side. Inhale to expand and to lift the chest. As we exhale, as we inhale, we lift the left arm up. As we exhale, Benson, you're right in the way. Benson. Sorry. Exhale, release the left hand down towards the heel. Just checking in that the hips aren't collapsing backwards, but are actually pressing forwards. And just find a comfortable position for the neck. Maybe allowing the left ear to come down towards the left shoulder. What are you doing? Huh? As we inhale, we bring both hands to the lower back, come back up to center, exhale to release just for one breath. What are you doing, boy? Yeah. Okay, when you're ready, we're coming to the other side. So coming up to high camel. Bring both hands to your lower back to start with, fingers point down. Inhale to lift the left arm up towards the ceiling. As we exhale, we reach back for the heel. Toes can be tucked or flat. I'm just checking in again that the hips aren't falling back towards the, oh, it's licking my hand. Checking in that the hips aren't falling back to the heels, but are actually pressing forward. What are you doing? Weird dog. As we inhale, come back to center, and exhale to come into seated on your heels, just for one breath. And then from here we're going to come into Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold as a counter posture. So you're going to extend your legs out in front of you. You can have a little bend in your knees to start with. Take a hold of the thighs, the shins, the tops of the feet or the sides of the feet. As we inhale, we draw the shoulders away from the ears. And as we exhale, we begin to fold forward, keeping the belly sandwiched to the thighs. Opening up through the spine, allowing the chin to rest down towards the knees or the shin. Take one more full breath. And then as we inhale, we begin to gently roll up the spine. So coming into Marichyasana C, Sage Marichi's pose, we're going to bring our right knee in towards our chest. We're going to have a little bit of space between the heel of the, between the right foot and the left leg. So about a fist distance of space, so the ankle's in line with the knee and the hip as opposed to being in line with the left leg. You're going to bring your right hand to the outside of the right hip, maybe towards your spine. You can have your left knee towards your right wrist, maybe outer edge of the elbow towards the outer edge of the right knee. As we inhale, we draw up through the crown of the head. As we exhale, we twist. Maybe taking Yan Mudra with that left hand if it feels nice, bringing fresh new energy into our practice, into our body. Staying nice and engaged through that left leg. As we inhale, we return to center, look forward. Exhale, unwind and release. Inhale, left knee in. Again, a little bit of space between the foot and the thigh. Left hand to the outside of the left hip or towards the spine. Right hand can come towards the knee or outer edge of the elbow towards the outer edge of the left knee. Maybe taking Yan Mudra with your right hand. As you inhale, you expand, lift. Exhale to twist, beginning to peek out over that left shoulder. As we inhale, we return to center. Exhale, unwind, and gently release and shake out the legs. We're going to come down to lay on our backs now. We're going to take Setu Bandhasana bridge pose. We're going to take it with chest expansion, and we're going to take 3 rounds of that. So we're going to take 3 rounds of dynamic bridge, and then we're going to either hold the bridge with the chest expansion at the top, or if you're feeling it today, to wake up the shoulders and the chest, we have the option to take Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward facing bow pose. So, come on, Ida. Don't look at me like that. So we're going to come down to lay on our backs. We're going to bring your heels in towards your sit bones, hips, knees and ankles all in line with each other, arms alongside the body, palms face down. As we inhale, we're going to lift the hips up towards the ceiling, engaging the glutes. Exhale to lower down. 2 more rounds, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, lower down. And then this time we have the option for bridge with chest expansion. So we inhale to lift up, roll onto the tops of the shoulders and interlace the fingers behind the back. If you're feeling it today, you can take over Dhanurasana, upward facing bow, bringing your palms underneath your shoulders, fingers pointing towards the toes. As we inhale, we lift up first to the crown of the head, check the elbows are in line with the shoulders, and then we begin to extend towards straight. When you're ready to come out, chin to chest, and gently roll down. So taking one that feels good to you today, just be mindful that flexibility can be a little bit of a challenge first thing in the morning, so don't force it. Take one more breath in wherever you are. If you're in bridge, exhale, release the bind and roll down. If you're in over Dhanurasana, chin to chest, and gently roll down. And we'll take our knees in towards our chest for Apanasana as a gentle release. Try to keep the entire length of the spine into the mat, so you're not crunching into a little ball, but staying nice and long. Bringing gentle movements back into the body. And then we're going to move into a little twist. So you're just going to gently lower your knees over to the right. You can rest them on the block or the floor. Maybe beginning to peek out over towards the left hand, getting twists through the entire length of the spine. Inhale, bring your knees to centre. Exhale, lower them down to the left. Maybe beginning to peek out towards the right fingertips. Begin to deepen your breath practice. Inhale, bring your knees back to centre. Coming into Supta Baddha Konasana, bring the soles of the feet together. You can rest your left hand on your heart, your right hand on your belly. If this feels a little bit too intense in the hips, you can always bring your knees together and your feet to mat distance apart. Bringing your awareness back into your intention, allowing that to fill your entire body, travelling in with your breath, and then diffusing out to your fingers, your toes, and the crown of the head. Take one more deep, full breath. Inhale, bring your knees back to centre, and just take any last movements your body needs before you come to release in Shavasana. Extending your legs out long to the front corners of the mat. Release your arms alongside the body with the palms facing up. Gently close your eyes. And with your eyes closed, with your mind's eye, begin to scan your body. Notice any places where you feel tension or sensation, and just micro-adjust as needed. Allowing the body to come into a place of complete stillness and rest as the earth below supports you and holds you. Release your Ujjayi breath, your yoga breath, and let your gentle, natural rhythms return. Allow the mind to clear. Any stories or thoughts that crop up, just let them pass, let them drift away. Allow yourself to stay completely present for the next few minutes. I encourage you to stay here for at least another 3 to 5 minutes if you have the time. Thank you so much for practicing with me this morning today. As you go forward, I wish you peace in your thoughts,
peace in your words, peace in your heart. Namaste.